So, has the black church failed the black community? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logical Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, Dr. Umar Johnson has had very harsh criticism against the black church, right? He accuses the black church of basically being against the black community, of failing the black community, and not helping the black community progress at all. You know, he claims that the black church takes a lot of time and research resources from the black community basically in the form of church, basically people going to church every Sunday, going to church Sundays, and Bible studies throughout the week, and taking money from them for tithes and offerings. And of course, according to him, this is taking time and resources away from the black community that the black community can be used to direct toward other things. Now, I will agree to a certain extent that the black church has definitely transformed over the decades. I mean, we went from a point in which where we saw, fire and brimstone in the black churches to now we see all this prosperity preaching, right? And I don't know when it really started, when this transformation started. My guess will be during the turbulent 60s, a lot of the other changes that we've seen happen in this country nationwide, not just amongst blacks, but nationwide. We've seen so many of these issues started to change in America because of that. And when I see this, this prosperity preaching that is all feel good, dancing, shaking and shouting, talking to your neighbor, it's all about feeling good, but it's never about addressing any of the problems, the real issues in the black community. It's not about shame. It's not about anything other than, like I said, they jumping, shaking and shouting, and everybody feeling good. And in all of these churches, on every corner of the black community, then why they have all these issues? I mean, are the churches really solving any problems today with all the prosperity preaching? I don't see it. Now, so I will agree that the churches have gone wrong. You get no problem, no argument from me. I criticize the church, and lots of people are criticizing this prosperity preaching, which we see happening in really truly all America, not just in black America. But I've seen lots of people criticize the prosperity preaching. However, the question is, did the church fail the black community? I say no, it didn't. The church didn't fail the black community. I think the black community failed the church. Because the church is basically a reflection of the community, really, truly. And like I said, now when we see them acceptance of everything, we see this acceptance of sin, acceptance of LGBTQ and all the other foolishness. The church has become a joke almost, especially these big mega churches. They aren't solving any problems. They're more concerned about looking at your W-2 to see if you paid your tithes than to see if they're solving any problems. Any real problems in the black community. But this is the issue. This is not an issue of the black church. This is the issue of the culture of black people. We see more race hustling in these churches than self-accountability. But that's a reflection of the culture. The black culture has actually failed the church. And you notice that the churches started failing in the 60s, the same time when the black families started failing. And then you got, like I said, these preachers wanted to cozy up to women, tell women that they're queens. They are essentially not much different than these pro-blacks of the queen mother god is simp nonsense. It's almost the same thing, because that's why they get how they have these women in the churches. Fill it up the churches, they are no men, because women gravitate to that, whereas men tend to gravitate to fire and brimstone. However, once again, I say that the black community has failed the black church because the culture and the mentality of the black community has changed what the church is supposed to was always about holding people accountable, about addressing sin, about dealing with the real issues in their community, and we just don't see that. in the churches anymore, and we don't see that because we see a failure in the black culture. So Dr. Umar Johnson is wrong here. The church didn't fail the black community failed the black church. They failed the churches. They're the ones, a church, a building is not accepting LGBTQ. It's the people who are. It's the pastor who is. Anyway, like I said, so Dr. Umar Johnson is wrong here. There's nothing wrong with attending church. There's nothing wrong with being religious. But the problem is the culture of the people, not the churches. Sorry. So the church is not the problem. The mentality of the people is. And until we address the mentality of the people, nothing's going to change. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.